Hello everyone, I am Kyoung-Hee Kim, a professor of architecture at UNC Charlotte. The focus of this lecture is on sustainable building materials and their role in carbon capture. These books, Materials and the Environment by Michael F. Ashby and Turning Point in Timber Construction by Ulrich Dangel, provide foundational insights into eco-informed material choices and the evolving timber economy. We discussed this chart in the previous videos. Here we have an overview of a building's major systems and components. We divide the building systems into 5 categories: the site system, the structure, the enclosure, the services, and the interior system. For example, the site category covers elements around the building such as pathways, landscaping, outdoor furniture, and so on. The structure is the building skeleton made of steel, concrete, or timber frame. The enclosure consists of the walls, windows, and roof that protect the interior. Services include systems like HVAC, heating, cooling, and ventilation, electrical systems, IT networks, plumbing, life safety, transportation, and other utilities. Finally, interior systems consist of interior finishes, appliances, and furniture. Together, these systems are integrated to create the entire building and define its performance and aesthetics. As discussed in the previous video, sustainable materials eco-properties, timber structures come out with the lowest embodied energy. Wood's production involves harvesting and milling, which uses far less energy than smelting metals or firing cement. Even engineered wood products generally require much less energy to produce compared to steel or cement. Wood sequesters carbon from the atmosphere and is more energy efficient and less carbon footprint to process. The carbon sequestration ability of timber, alongside the low embodied energy with its manufacturing, make timber materials an advantageous option. This enables the justification of sustainable forest management, which ensures the forests can replenish themselves while supporting a low carbon built environment and enhanced carbon sequestration. When we harvest wood and use it to create timber products, for example, lumber for construction, furniture, or engineered wood panels, the carbon that was in the trees remains stored in those wood products. A wooden beam in a building is essentially a carbon reservoir. Wood product certifications demonstrate proper forest management by showing wood is harvested during periods when the forest can continue to regrow and sequester carbon. The carbon captured is stored in products and buildings, which delays or prevents its return to the atmosphere. This slide highlights the importance of sustainably managed forests alongside timber use. Forest management and wood products both serve carbon capture effectively within the carbon cycle. Forests sequester carbon and generate oxygen while simultaneously supporting natural ecosystems and the built environment. Using wood in construction can significantly cut a building's carbon footprint as long as they do not decompose or burn. This is the opposite of materials like steel or concrete. Producing traditional building materials emits carbon, whereas manufacturing wood products retains carbon locked up in buildings. If forests are managed well, as discussed on the previous slide about certification, we can periodically harvest wood in a way that the forest continues to regrow and capture carbon. The harvested carbon goes into buildings and products, preventing its return to the atmosphere. Together, the forest and the building form a continuous carbon sink system. This slide illustrates the forests of the world. The color-coded forest types include tropical, temperate, and boreal forests, depending on geographic locations. Some areas highlighted in gray lack forest cover, which limits their carbon capture and forest resources. Therefore, it is important that international cooperation is needed as the world's forests are distributed unevenly. Recognizing where the forests are also sets up context for understanding patterns of forest loss or gain, which is addressed in the next slide. This slide illustrates annual net forest gain and loss by country during 1990-2015. Net reforestation, forest gain, and net deforestation, forest loss are highlighted in green and red respectively. South America, Africa, and Oceania show a net loss, whereas China, North America, and Europe shows a net gain. This reflects its conservation initiatives and well-managed regrowth. This slide, Certified Forest Areas, shows how much of the world's forest area is under Sustainable Management certification. The green in the pie chart indicates the extent of forest lands that have been certified by organizations like FSC or PEFC, either over time or by region, and the yellow indicates non-certified forest areas. Although North America and Europe have large portions of their production forests certified, since these regions adopted certification early, many forests are still managed without certification. In contrast, tropical regions tend to have a smaller proportion of certified forests due to various challenges and later adoption. Overall, the certified area is only a relatively small percentage. That gap highlights the room for expansion of sustainable forest practices. This slide illustrates a different rate of carbon uptake depending on plant type. With ample sunlight, biological matter in facades increases CO2 uptake via photosynthesis, contributing to carbon sequestration and oxygen production. Sequestration is directly related to the biomass of a tree's leaves. In other words, bigger trees generally have higher sequestration rates. However, mature trees do not sequester carbon faster than actively growing adult trees. In comparison, microalgae are highly efficient at carbon sequestration because their entire structure consists of photosynthetic cells. Key takeaways include: 1. Timber has low embodied energy to produce and helps store carbon with buildings. 2. Sustainable managed forests and timber products work together as carbon sink. 3. Only a fraction of the global forest area is under any forest certification, underscoring vast room to expand sustainable forest management practices. 4. International collaboration is important to protect and expand net reforestation. This video was supported by UNC Charlotte in collaboration with the US-ASEAN Smart Cities Partnership. For further inquiries, please contact Kyoung-Hee Kim at UNC Charlotte. Let's work together towards sustainable built environments.